Welcome to the 4th IEEE Bombay Section Signature Conference 2022. We have the privilege now of having with us Mr. B. Satyanarayan, Chairperson IEEE Bombay Section and General Chair of IBSSC 2022. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here and agreeing to talk to us. Let me start by asking you, what is the vision of IEEE?
See, IEEE is of course a technology and engineering professional organization, but I think what makes IEEE very distinct compared to all other professional organizations is it gives a very big importance and place that we must actually take technology, engineering, any such spin-offs to the person on the street. And if you actually see the IEEE's tagline, it says advancing technology for the humanity. So it believes strongly, in fact, it dates back to its founders, people like Thomas Alva Edison, Graham Bell, and so on. They have very clearly articulated in the vision and mission of IEEE, saying that they want to start either American Institute of Electrical Engineers, which is one part of it, or Institute for Radio Engineers, which is the later part, which started by Marconi and all. Both of them had one common synergy, that we must use and take technology to the benefit of humanity. And I think that is that is how we are all trying to go.
Okay. And over the years, what are the changes that have been brought in by IEEE?
IEEE has, I in fact say, I give a kind of analogy of a very famous Indian parable, like 6 blind men going and trying to figure out what an elephant was, and then they touch and feel different parts of the elephant and say, oh, it's a spear, it is a tail, and so on and so forth. Similarly, IEEE is different thing for different communities, different people. IEEE is something, a ladder on which a student climbs up a professional career. IEEE is something which helps the career growth of a professional person. IEEE is something where it brings a certain value, certain quality of life improvement for people who are not so well equipped with technological advances. IEEE is something which makes a gender equality for women in engineering. IEEE is a platform on which very senior scientists all the way up to Nobel laureates, IEEE has 21 Nobel laureates who actually mentor and train the younger potential graduates. So the point is, IEEE is definitely something brings in new value to every community that we kind of see around. But to say that what it has kind of brought in over a period of time, one of the biggest thing IEEE, not sure everybody knows or not, is that it owns about 7,000 so-called standards. Standards is something which every industry, every field of engineering, science uses. For example, when you talk about communication, you use certain way to connect wires, to put which pin comes on what and so on, and how you transfer data, what is the protocol. Every bit of it is something has to be standardized. And IEEE is actually owner of such 7,000 standards. I think without those standards, most of our top industries in the area of ICT would be nowhere. So that's the biggest contribution.
Standardization.
Standard. It's called standards, IEEE standards.
So I wanted to know how the field of engineering and IEEE both are working towards attaining the Atmanirbhar Bharat.
So Atmanirbhar Bharat, of course, is a context that brings closer to the country in some sense and closer to the context in which we are living right now. Namely, you see, the whole idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat is, it sort of existed always, and it existed in other parts of the world as well. But it makes a good sense even completely from a business standpoint of view, development of a country standpoint of view, that you must also empower your community, namely the students or industry or research or whatever it is, to develop things which will result in production of, let us say, products or tools or any other utilities, so that the country becomes self-sufficient. Right? I mean, ultimate thing is that because often when you start importing, you are not only importing, making what I can say, cost for the product, but you are also paying for all the overheads that come with that. Whereas if you produce in India, we are of course well known for our what I can say, technological skills, software skills, hardware skills, etc. We are no less than anybody else. But the fact that we are not able to put in all these together on one thread to kind of make into a product or make into a research or innovation field, we sort of started lagging behind certain countries. So right now, this particular move, if I can say, by the government is enable this innovation within the ecosystem the country existed. Bring students, bring younger people, bring older people, everybody together, and kind of make what is possible to be built in here. But the main pedestal where the larger platform in which things have to happen is in the sector of manufacturing, which requires not just only four of us coming together and trying to put our ideas and then build something unique, but also it requires governmental, non-governmental, everybody, societal inputs to be able to kind of plug in, let us say, money and resources to be able to manufacture. So remember, I mean, we are very good at, let us say, service sector. Okay, but we didn't really come up to the mark as well as manufacturing sector. So if you want to really build industry and bring manufacturing as a main forum, IEEE plays a big role again there. As I told you just now about IEEE standards is one big area where people are contributing. For example, in the communication sector, 6G, Indian community is actually taking upper hands and able to contribute much more than the previous generation. So, etc. So, I think it may not be as direct as one could articulate, but IEEE, the community in the country is actually playing a lead role in trying to, achieve some of the goals of what Atmanirbhar is. Yes.
Lastly, what has been your experience with Mukesh Patel School of Technology Management and Engineering?
Well, I happen to have a quite long, I would say, I don't say association, but I kind of known. I remember my first time when I came into Mukesh Patel College was as a guest speaker. Very long ago, it could be more than 10 years or 12 years ago, to speak on a project called AstroSat, which TIFR co-built along with others. It's a multi-wavelength astronomy project. It's a highly successful one. And that was probably the first time, but I happened to come and visit quite a few times later from IEEE Connection. One of your faculty was IEEE Bombay Section Exicom, I think student activities chair. Okay. And I think we know the Jane, right?
I don't know.
I think so. And then several programs. I myself organized many technical programs on the campus. And of late, of course, we also had more of your colleagues coming on Bombay Section Exicom. But I would say the pinnacle, in my opinion, is this particular conference. When I think your faculty and ma'am Alka proposed this, it was all through a wonderful experience. And seeing your enthusiasm of your faculty's hard work that they have done, the infrastructure that you people have, it made absolutely a great pleasure and experience to team up and collaborate with the MPSTME for organizing. I mean, today is a grand day that we are able to kind of bring up this conference. I actually started a cursor to IBSSC. It was called IBSS. Okay, IEEE Bombay Section Signature Symposium, which I started in 2015.
Right.
And then after a couple of years, we thought that we should have a conference format rather than symposium format. And then it has become IBSSC.
So that is how
it was a precursor. So this is the fourth one.
Yeah.
But absolutely wonderful experience to team up with MPSTME.
That's really nice.
And we look forward to actually doing more events. In fact, June next year, we are going to have an international, it's called Lighting Symposium. And your organization is going to be again venue for it.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah,
That's really nice.
and then I can really imagine there will be a lot more. We had a couple of workshops. Today we are having co-located another workshop on the conference organization workshop. We had one in last July. So you can see that the way you are enabling many of our IEEE Bombay Section events to happen. Yes, absolutely. It's a great pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was a real pleasure having you here with us and chatting with you too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
With this interview, we come to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to tune in for more exciting happenings and interesting chats with experts. Until then, signing off. Do take care.